Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic. Thank you for joining me. We are going to go through my merch prompt in my one little word booklet. As you can see here, my word is time this year. And it was only last week actually I posted February, so I was a little bit late with that one. But I'm all good to go with this now for March. And if you're familiar with one little word, you'll know that March is generally the practice month. So it's the month where we get a little tracker, as you can see here. I'm just going to go through my supplies actually. So I've pre-printed out each month of the year, and I've already printed and wrote out my notes for this month as well. So this is based on my reasons why and listing what I will practice. Now I do also have this little printout that came from Ali's website, and I've got these leftover quotes as well from the vision board for last month, which I really do want to use. I also really wanted to use this vellum page. If you're not familiar with these pocket page notebooks, one of the reasons I love them is the fact that it's got this clear page, and I absolutely love putting vellum sheets inside the clear page because when you flip it over you get to see both sides of it. If you were to stick this down just on a normal sheet of white paper, you don't get to see the translucentness of the vellum paper. Now I couldn't decide between the two. It's hard to see the paler one has got lots of little white dots, but I did come across the pink one and I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not because of the gold, but I do decide to embrace it. And my plan is for the 4 little quotes, if you like, to just stick them back to back and then insert them inside that plastic pocket. Now of course these are quite dark, aren't they? It's black on white or white on black, and I'm just going to embrace it. I have to say I'm going through a pretty dark time, as we all do now and again, so I'm going to embrace it, acknowledge it, and then record it as well. These are ways of journaling and memory keeping, just the same as our scrapbooking is. So I'm sticking these on. I do realise at this point as well that these 2 little images are slightly different in sizes, so you see me do a lot of taking off, putting on, trying to fix it. Now I won't go too much on the process I'm doing because I am basically just sticking things into my notebook. It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy that anyone can do. I'm not using any great techniques or anything like that, I'm just sticking these down. And thankfully I am using this adhesive tape runner that is repositionable up to, 10-15 minutes, but it works just the same. Now whilst you watch me fiddle with this, putting things on, taking it off, changing my mind, I'll talk a little bit more about the merch prompt and what it means for me, because one of the reasons for sharing my one little word with you this year is really to take you on the journey with me with my word time. So one of the things that I want to practice for the month of March, and what I've written down actually, is all about self-love, self-care, taking time for myself to reflect, and I'm going to use meditation for that. You probably don't know, but I'm also into my crystals. I'm a qualified crystal healer. I've done Reiki, all this kind of stuff, and really over the past 6 months or so it's all been gone by the wayside. Life's just got a little bit difficult and I've just not been practicing, and I need to get back to that. I need to get back to that to help fill my spiritual soul and build my resilience. And I'm conscious it's not just going to be one thing that's going to fix this or create this new pattern. So I'm keeping it quite vague, as long as I do a little bit of self-care each day. And even now I'm actually just sat outside whilst I do the voiceover, just to get in the fresh air, rather than being indoors all day long. And that in itself is a new thing for me. I don't spend enough time outdoors in nature as I should do. One of the things I have found though on Netflix is a great series called Headspace, and in fact I'll just put a picture of it here for you as well. Now they're only 20-minute episodes and there's only 8 episodes in the season, but they do have other similar shows that you can watch. Once you've seen that, you'll get recommended. But spending that 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day I think is really going to help me, and I'm not going to be too restrictive on what that 20 minutes or 30 minutes looks like. My overall thing for the word time is letting go of a lot of stuff, wasted time, worrying time, that kind of stuff. And what I want to invite in for my word is obviously living in the now and taking a bit more control and having a bit more appreciation and patience. So I really do feel that's going to help me achieve that. Now going back to the prompt, you can see here that I am just outlining this page with a black marker. This is like a Wink of Stella pen, but it's one from Uniquely Creations, so it does have some glitter and sparkle in that. The actual brush end is really quite long. I really do need to trim it down actually, it's quite difficult to use. But you can see here I'm just very roughly just creating some kind of image around this, and I just want to embrace the black, as I've said, and really make it look like it's intentional and part of that layout. If you've seen my earlier prompts for one little word this year, you'll know I've also talked about shopping my stash. So everything that I'm using throughout this one little word for the year, I'm not going to buy anything special for it. I'm just going to use what I've got in my craft room. So you'll see here, this is why I'm not worrying too much about getting the papers or the die cuts and the ephemera. I'm just going to use what I've got on hand. And one of the things that I've challenged myself this year is to use chipboards. I really don't like chipboard pieces. I don't even know how I've managed to collect so many of them, to be honest. And of course this is all going in a little book, so I don't want to add too much dimension to it, but January and February prompts have been quite flat, so I know I can add a little bit of chipboard here and there, and this notebook will still be great to use. So what I'm also going to do, which you see very soon, is I'm also going to use that same black glitter pen just to colour in some of those chipboard pieces as well, and again just to bring in the black and make it all look a little bit more cohesive. Now these notebooks, each of these little pages is roughly 8" by 4", and I've got obviously 2 of those as well as the pocket page to use. So I've got loads and loads of space to be able to use one of these double spreads for every month of my one little word layer, and it's perfect because I can actually fit 12 months in the one book. So it really does help me save space as well in my craft room. Now, isn't it great when you find something in your stash that you have had for years and years and it works absolutely perfectly with what you're looking for and ties in quite nicely? And I've got a couple of these chipboard pieces here. You see this one says true story, and then the other one is, or both of them actually, are hashtag goals and the hashtag true story. I'm also going to use these little love hearts as well, and I did consider using more of the love hearts that are in my little box, but I thought I didn't want to overdo it. I want to keep it nice and simple, and so I just stick with one love heart on each of the pages as well as the little quote as well. Now I'm just going to use some of my reversible tweezers. I picked the wrong ones up initially, but you can see me here grabbing them now, just to keep hold of that while I colour it in. Now if you're doing one little word this year, I'd love to know what word you've chosen, or if you've got any comments, or even if you're willing to share with me what your practice is for the month of March. I'd love to hear about it as well. I don't know too many people actually that are doing one little word this year. It seems a lot of people have dropped off, which I can understand because it does seem to be the same thing every month, and this may well be the last year that I do it as well. I think once you've done it for so many years, I think this is my 5th year, you kind of get into the routine, and you know, you've still got the supplies from previous years as well. And of course, it is quite an expense. I think it was $50 this year, which did go up quite a bit from previous years. So I'll be interested to hear what you think as well about one little word. Like I say, I'm keen to share it with you this year. I know I don't get many views on it, so again, I'm not sure how popular these videos are, but I'd love to get your feedback and hear what you think as well. Now once I've done these, I am just going to let them dry, and by the power of editing, I'm back before you know it. These are all dry and I'm ready to share them with you. And it's a shame it doesn't come across on camera, but in real life the glitter is really nice effect. It's nice and sparkly. Now, I hope it's not too noisy out here. I can hear the parrots and all of the birds roosting for the night. It's gone 6 o'clock, so I think they're all flying over ready to settle in for the night, so I hope it's not too noisy in the background. But I'm moving on now just to affix these. We're almost done with the layout. I am using some Arranger medium in this little bottle, and I got this idea from Natasha Foot. I'm sure you've heard of her. I'll put all the links down below, of course, as I always do. She is an amazing YouTuber from New Zealand, and I don't know why it was such a simple and effective idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it, or anyone else had thought of it, but she just uses a syringe to get the glue into these little bottles, and it certainly does make life a lot easier because it does come out quite fine. So I've been using this more and more since seeing that last year, I think it was, on her YouTube channel. And of course, because these are chipboard pieces, I need something a little bit stronger, which is why I'm using the Ranger Matte. You could use the Mod Podge as well, that's something else I would use, but because I needed that fine tip end, this is why I'm using it from this little bottle as well. Just putting lots of little dots on there just to make sure they're going to stick nice and firm. Now, of course, I'm going to keep this particular book open in my craft room throughout the month so that every day I can, again, shop from my stash. I'm going to use up some rhinestones in various shades of pink and just pop them into each of those little circles every day for the days that I've achieved it. So I'll keep that open and out as a reminder so I don't forget. But at this point, I think my layout's done. I wasn't going to worry about putting the month of March on the top because the one that I'd reprinted was too big. But then I do realise I've got these small little alphas. These were from an old citrus twist kit. I'm not really a big fan of them, to be honest. I've got a few of these styles and they don't really work for me, but I thought I would use them up. They're not quite black, but they are a very dark grey, and again, it's hard for you to see on camera really the overall effect, but having that little title on the top really does finish it off, I think. Thank you for watching my prompt for March. I hope you have success in getting all of your little practice down every day. Of course, if we don't do it every day, it's not the end of the world. It's just all about intention, isn't it? And finding time to do that. So I hope you enjoy your practice. It is one of my favourite months. Hopefully I manage to achieve something every day. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Have a great crafting weekend. Thanks for watching.